Have you ever finished a book and felt like you've just lived another life? Like the characters have become your friends, their world your own? That's the magic of truly great literature, and few books capture that magic quite like Charlotte Bronte's masterpiece, Jane Eyre. Today, we're going on a deep dive into this incredible novel. You might have heard of it, maybe you were even assigned it in school and skimmed through it, but I'm here to tell you that Jane Eyre is so much more than just a classic on a dusty shelf. It's a powerful, thrilling, and deeply moving story that speaks to us today just as powerfully as it did in 1847. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's explore why Jane Eyre deserves a prime spot on your reading list. First, let's talk about Jane herself. Forget the stereotype of the damsel in distress. Jane Eyre is one of literature's most formidable heroines. She's an orphan, penniless, and described as plain, yet she possesses an iron will, a brilliant mind, and a spirit that refuses to be broken. From the very first page, we are thrown into her world. We feel her suffering at the hands of her cruel aunt, Mrs. Reed, and her time at the harsh Lowood school. We experience her loneliness, her hunger, and her yearning for love and belonging. But what makes Jane so compelling is her unyielding sense of self-worth. In a society that constantly tells her she is less than, she holds on to her principles with fierce determination. She believes in her own value, independent of wealth, social status, or appearance. Think about the famous line she delivers to Mr. Rochester. "I am no bird, and no net ensnares me. I am a free human being with an independent will." That's not just a line from a book, it's a declaration of independence that resonates with anyone who has ever fought to be seen for who they truly are. Her journey from a powerless child to a self-sufficient woman is incredibly inspiring. She teaches us the importance of integrity, resilience, and the quiet strength found in staying true to oneself, no matter the cost. Now, of course, you can't talk about Jane Eyre without talking about the romance. And, oh, what a romance it is! The relationship between Jane and the brooding, enigmatic Mr. Rochester is the heart of the novel, and it's anything but a simple love story. It's complex, it's passionate, and it's electrifying. When Jane arrives at Thornfield Hall to be a governess, she meets her employer, Edward Rochester. He's not your typical handsome prince. He's dark, moody, and carries a world of secrets. Their initial interactions are a battle of wits. They challenge each other, they provoke each other, and through their sharp, intelligent conversations, they find something rare. A true meeting of minds. This isn't a love based on superficial attraction. It's a deep, intellectual, and spiritual connection. Rochester is drawn to Jane's honesty and her unshakable spirit. He sees past her plain exterior to the fire within. And Jane, despite his difficult nature, sees the wounded soul beneath his cynical facade. Their love story is about two imperfect people finding their equal, their kindred spirit. Bronte writes their dialogue with such spark and intensity that you feel like you're in the room with them, hanging on every word. It's a romance that feels earned, that feels real, because it's built on a foundation of mutual respect and genuine understanding. But Jane Eyre is more than just a character study or romance. It's a novel that broke new ground and was incredibly ahead of its time. When it was published, it was considered quite scandalous. Why? Because it dared to give a woman a powerful inner voice. The entire story is told from Jane's first-person perspective. We are inside her head, privy to her thoughts, her desires, her anger, and her passion. This was revolutionary in the Victorian era, a time when women were expected to be quiet, submissive, and to hide their true feelings. Bronte uses Jane's voice to critique the social injustices of the time. She tackles the oppressive class system, the poor treatment of children and the less fortunate, and the restrictive roles placed upon women. Through Jane's eyes, we see the hypocrisy of the so-called respectable society. The novel argues that a person's worth isn't T determined by their birth or their bank account, but by their character and their soul. This social commentary is woven so seamlessly into the narrative that it never feels preachy. Instead, it adds layers of depth and meaning to Jane's personal struggle, making her fight for independence a universal one. And let's not forget the Gothic atmosphere. If you love a story with mystery, suspense, and a touch of the supernatural, Jane Eyre will not disappoint. Thornfield Hall is not just a house, it's a character in itself. It's a sprawling, ancient mansion filled with dark corridors, locked doors, and a terrifying secret hidden away in its attic. Brontë is a master of creating suspense. The strange, eerie laughter that echoes through the halls at night, the mysterious fire in Mr. Rochester's bedroom, the feeling that something is always watching. It's genuinely creepy. This Gothic element isn't just for thrills. It symbolizes the hidden secrets and repressed emotions that haunt the characters. The mystery of Thornfield Hall runs parallel to the mystery of Mr. Rochester's past, and as Jane gets closer to the truth, the tension builds to an explosive climax. It's a page-turner in the truest sense of the word. You'll be guessing and theorizing right up until the final, shocking reveal. The blend of romance, social critique, and Gothic horror is what makes Jane Eyre so unique and so utterly captivating. One of the most profound themes in the novel is the search for love versus the need for independence. This is a conflict that Jane grapples with throughout the entire story. She yearns for love and connection more than anything, but she is terrified of losing herself in the process. This dilemma comes to a head in one of the most critical moments of the book. After discovering Rochester's devastating secret, he begs her to stay with him, to live as his partner outside the bounds of society's laws. For Jane, this is the ultimate test. She loves him with all her heart, but to stay would mean sacrificing her principles, her self-respect, and her independence. In an act of incredible strength, she chooses to leave. She walks away from the man she loves and the comfort he offers to face an unknown and terrifying future, alone and penniless. This decision is what solidifies her as a true hero. It is a powerful statement that self-worth and integrity are more important than a love that requires you to compromise your very soul. Her journey shows us that true fulfillment doesn't come from finding someone else to complete you, but from becoming whole on your own first. Finally, we have to talk about Charlotte Bronte's writing. The language in Jane Eyre is simply breathtaking. It's rich, it's poetic, and it's filled with passion. Every sentence is crafted with care, painting vivid pictures in your mind and stirring deep emotions in your heart. Bronte's use of imagery, particularly with nature and fire, is brilliant. She uses the changing seasons to reflect Jane's internal state, and the recurring motif of fire represents the passion, anger, and destruction that simmer just beneath the surface of the story. Reading Jane Eyre is like listening to a beautiful piece of music. The prose flows with a rhythm and intensity that pulls you in and doesn't let go. Yes, it's 19th century language, and it might take a few pages to get used to it, but it is so worth the effort. The beauty of the writing elevates the story from a simple plot to a work of art. It's the kind of book you'll want to reread, just to savor the language and discover new layers of meaning you missed the first time. So, why should you read Jane Eyre? You should read it for its unforgettable heroine who teaches us about resilience and self-worth. You should read it for its passionate, intelligent romance that sets the standard for all others. You should read it for its sharp social commentary, its thrilling Gothic mystery, and its profound exploration of love and independence. But most of all, you should read it because it's a timeless story about the human spirit's relentless quest for freedom, belonging, and love. It's a book that will stay with you long after you've turned the final page. I truly hope I've convinced you to pick up this incredible novel, or maybe even give it another try. If you've read it, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What did you love about it? Who is your favorite character? Let's get a discussion going. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into the world of Jane Eyre. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you won't miss our next literary adventure. Until next time, happy reading.